What is up, Cheesecake Nation? It is Super Chudge Funk and the Dave blasting at you with the movie review you've all been waiting for. The review for Avengers Age of Ultron.
Alright, like always, we're going to start out with the non-spoiler review. That way anybody who hasn't had a chance to see it yet, this is just kind of for you guys. Anybody who's seen it, you guys can hang out, watch the entire video.
Or if you don't care about spoilers, you can feel free, but we don't recommend it.
Yeah, if you're like, I don't think I'm going to see it, but I want to be part of the conversation, I guess. Thoughts going in, I was super pumped, so...
I think everybody was.
Yeah.
It's just one of those movies, you know, like the first movie was really good, so everyone had nothing but high hopes for this one. And it definitely delivered.
Oh yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I might even go so far as to say I think it's a better film than the first Avengers.
Yeah.
I could see people having a little bit of issues. There were kind of some scenes, almost like Captain America, the first Avengers, where it's like a lot of montages of stuff happening,
right.
But like you're not really
like it's kind of it's kind of reminding you that this is a sequel to a movie that is a conglomeration of other movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the part where Witch's powers, I guess we'll put it.
Right.
Yeah, there's like a lot of like montages of other stuff going on, right. But like you didn't really focus on one, and you kind of get like an idea of all of them, except for one character. But we'll get into that in spoilers. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I think we're to wrap up the non-spoilers part with just I really enjoyed it, Chudge.
2 big thumbs up. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you don't plan on seeing it, you're stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good movie. I'm not going to co-sign your stupid thing, but I would definitely recommend it. I mean, all the other Marvel movies are out and easy to see. They're on FX. They're on pretty much everything, so get yourself caught up. You're not really missing much if you're skipping out on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Daredevil. I didn't watch Agent Carter. I watched a few episodes and I just couldn't really get into it, so...
Yeah.
I doubt I really missed anything there. But, alright, for everything here... Actually, before we get into spoilers for that, just a quick thing. In case you're like, I haven't seen Daredevil yet, is there anything I need to know from Daredevil before I go into Avengers? Not really. The only thing you might want to know is Daredevil. He lives in the part of New York that was destroyed by the Chitauri invasion from the first Avengers movie. Like, that's why Hell's Kitchen is kind of destroyed and being rebuilt. Other than that, not a whole lot you need to know from them. Joss Whedon kind of put it out that it's kind of a one-way street in the way they interact with one another. The movies will influence the shows, but the shows won't influence the movies. Whether he's right 100% on that, we'll see. But as of right now, it seems pretty truthful.
Only time will tell with how popular the show gets, which it's looking to be pretty popular.
Alright, so anybody who's here for the non-spoiler part, going into spoiler territory, like, comment, subscribe, come back after you've seen the movie, see the rest of it. Alright, peace out. Alright, into spoiler territory, you've been warned. Alright, so the beginning of the movie kind of sets up with like this really cool fight thing between Strucker and the Avengers, and I really liked a lot of the scenes. Like, they were very comic book like.
Oh yeah, man! Like, it was such a fun, exciting scene. Like, you couldn't have made that opening scene better. The very first words out of their mouths was fucking hysterical, and it sets up the running joke through the entire movie, which is Cap, you know, not liking potty mouth.
Yeah.
So they make that joke throughout the movie, and it never gets old. You know, I'm sure when we see the movie 5, 6 more times, it may get old then.
Yeah, it was a pretty good running joke. It definitely kept you in. It was definitely something funny to see. It did kind of set up one dynamic I wasn't a huge fan of, but I'm sure it probably is just me. The Widow Hulk thing.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And, like, they didn't set it up in the first movie.
It wasn't really hinted at all in Cap 2.
No.
So that was kind of a weird dynamic. I mean, I guess it could have happened at some point, because there is supposedly a lot of stuff that happened off screen, but
like they kind of explained it, and it made a little bit more sense as time went on, but still.
Yeah, I mean, as they kind of hinted towards her backstory and like going into everybody's like worst nightmares.
Yeah.
You find out that she views herself as not really a woman anymore because she's sterile, and that's why I think she likes the Hulk, because she views herself as not quite human, and he's obviously not quite human. And I mean, it worked, but it felt really weird and not really set up. And
it's because just because we're also comic book guys, and that's never been a relationship in the comics at all, really.
No, I mean, it's not really.
It just felt kind of weird. Not to say that it couldn't work, and
it almost felt like somebody had made the hide the zucchini joke at like a board meeting.
That was funny,
and like they wanted to put that in the movie.
Yeah,
like I don't know. It was just kind of a weird one.
Yeah, it didn't really taint it or anything. Just kind of looking at it, and I was like,
going forward we get more of it, so it kind of fleshes it out. Because it was kind of bare bones in the movie.
Yeah.
Captain America looking like Captain Swole the whole movie. Dude was just fucking beefed out to the gills.
Yeah, he definitely looked, a little,
pretty fucking crazy looking.
Little beefy. It was pretty awesome.
I think he was bigger than Thor. I definitely gotta say they pumped up the action in this one. Everybody was kicking a lot more ass.
Oh my god! Like every character had a good amount of screen time. Black Widow and Hawkeye got a lot more screen time in this movie.
I would say if anything, the only character who kind of got pushed back was Iron Man. But
yeah,
I don't think that was really an issue.
In that Iron Man had like almost all the screen time in the last movie.
Yeah, I mean,
so everybody got like a good equal part, and it felt good.
I mean, I would say there was definitely a pretty heavy focus on Hawkeye.
And you know what? I wanted to get into that. Like, I really enjoyed, like when they're at his when they're at the farmhouse and he's just kind of looking out the window. I don't know. As a comic book fan, looking at Hawkeye being that kind of character, not really being as up to snuff with the other Avengers, them actually talking about that and explaining why he should and is on the team, and it felt like it was a great scene. Yeah,
because I gotta just kind of break it away. That's not really anything that's ever happened in the comics. Is Hawkeye as a dad, Hawkeye with a wife, and I kind of like this backstory because at first I was kind of like, oh cool, we're getting Mockingbird and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I wonder if that's going to go somewhere, and then obviously not. Lisa Barton. I mean, granted, anything horrible could happen. Ultron come back and bomb the ranch and Hawkeye's single again. So, I mean, something could happen, but it just kind of seemed like they're saying, that's not going to be in our universe.
Yeah. Trying to think. Baron Strucker was kind of cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him.
The way that they
too bad they wiped him out.
Yeah. I'm trying to think going on.
Iron Man's new suit was just kind of okay. I mean, there's nothing really special about it.
Nothing too
Obviously,
different.
the Hulkbuster got its.
We'll get into that. I don't know. Actually, screw it.
Let's just do costumes. Yeah. So we had Iron Man.
I love the new Cap costume.
The new Cap costume was pretty cool.
It looked. I mean, like it had like a good amount of the red, white, and blue that none of the other ones really had, and I felt like it popped a little more.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a variant on the Commander Steve Rogers costume he was wearing in Winter Soldier. This one's obviously more red, white, and blue.
Yeah. Very more comic booky, I think.
Oh, it was very much the comic book costume. Instead of having the red boots, though, he's got like brown gloves and boots, which are a little bit more. They look like what people would wear. Nobody's really out there in red boots. Hulk, I can't remember. Like, I think he had like the tight pants on, right?
Yeah.
That's what the figure has, but I don't really remember from the movie.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what it was.
The only costume, because I'll just say I liked Hawkeye's. I didn't have any issue with the twins. Do you have an issue with the twins?
No.
I found it kind of weird that the super spy Black Widow had like light piping on her suit when she's a stealth character.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like, they didn't really do anything with that. Like, I thought we were going to get like...
I think there was like one scene where it kind of looked like she had like a magnet in her suit or something. She like ran up a wall real quick and like spun somebody.
I think that might have been... I like the fact that she got the shock batons. And we actually got to see a little more of her arsenal. I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't know why they don't use the Widow Sting thing more.
Yeah.
It's weird that she has pistols, because like her gauntlets around her wrist are supposed to be guns.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever seen Deadshot, that's effectively the same deal. It just seems weird they won't give it to her. I don't know why. But
Stan Lee's cameo was pretty funny.
Yeah, Stanley had a pretty solid cameo. They got it out early, and that was it. Thor, we forgot about him.
Yeah.
He's pretty much rocking the same costume. Because in Dark World, he kind of had more of a gold one, but now they're back to the silver.
Yeah.
I would say between Thor and Hawkeye were pretty much the focus of the movie, I would say.
Yeah.
Because you had, like, Thor got his little backside story thing where he's trying to figure out, like, spoiler alert for people that have seen the movie but are dumb.
Yeah, it kind of started off with Iron Man, then it kind of drifted more into Thor and Hawkeye.
Well, what the Thor one is supposed to be is it's supposed to be detailing Ragnarok. In case you guys didn't know that. Like, that was, like, your teaser for Ragnarok. Not sure why Heimdall was blind, but... Oh, I forgot. The best joke of the whole movie was, like, really, right after that first scene, where they're like, what about the people I heard, or however Hulk put it, or Banner, and Thor was like, they're in the gates of hell with minor injuries, or whatever the joke was. It was just like...
Yeah, it's like he was trying to compliment the Hulk on, like the enemies he defeated, but that's not what they wanted him to say. But then he realized it's like, oh, but no, they're fine, and no, shut up.
That was like my favorite little
that was a good
quick joke in the movie.
Right.
There's some pretty other good ones.
Right.
All right, let's go on to
Ultron himself.
Well, yeah, I guess I was gonna say the Vision.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you got Ultron.
You being Mr. Everything Hank Pym, how do you... I gotta say, I like the fact that the drones looked more like comic book Ultron.
All right, so first and foremost, when they go into Strucker's castle, they see like an Ultron body on the table that very much looks like comic book Ultron. That was cool. The actual James Spader Ultron Prime, it was kind of goofy looking to me.
Yeah.
I really liked his like lines in the trailer, but at some points in the movie, I was just kind of like...
He was a little too goofy.
Yeah.
Like, he was... I wasn't expecting, like...
Like, Ultron is a very, very dark character.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to crack as many jokes. I mean, like, when they, like, started making the comparisons that his brain is modeled after Tony's...
Yeah.
You know, I
didn't make any sense. Even the movie universe, it didn't make sense. Like, obviously... They left it open where Hank Pym could have been the one to design the Ultron AI, because they never explained where it came from.
Yeah.
Other than it was on, Hydra had it on their files. So, I mean, it's open for them to do that whenever they want. And Tony just put it into action. Which I'd be perfectly fine with, because that pretty much just rewrites what would have happened.
Yeah, I really hope that's what they do, because, I mean...
It was kind of weird. Like, they kind of hinted that Ultron's a space program, and that doesn't really make any sense.
No.
Loki's staff being the mind gem is kind of weird. I hope they kind of go through and explain what each gem are supposed to be, because they kind of messed up the colors.
Yeah, that was very confusing.
Like, Thor made a comment later on in the movie where he's like, we found 4 gems now, or 4 gems have been shown. Is there one not in Guardians of the Galaxy that I'm thinking of? Like, because he shouldn't know about the one in Guardians of the Galaxy. There's no way he should know that. I guess Heimdall could have theoretically told him, but...
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know why Thor would know.
I think the only... Because those are the ones that you saw, just him, like... I don't think he knows where it is. Those are just the ones that have been revealed.
But I mean, like, how does he know? That's the thing, though.
Like, he doesn't know where they are, like, what it is.
After Dark World, he was on Earth.
Yeah, I know, but, like, it was a part of the vision, because he saw, like, the 4 gems in the... Like, just kind of floating into space. I don't think he knows what the other gems are.
Because we have Vision's Beam Diamond is the Mind Gem. We have the Tesseract, which is the Space Gem, I assume. I'm just making up assumptions here. Yeah. You have the Ether, and I don't think the Purple Gem from Guardians had a name, did it?
The Orb.
Yeah, the Orb, I guess. Which one is the Power Gem is kind of hard to decide, in that one kind of made beams of energy or waves of energy that would knock stuff over, and the other one could destroy a planet. So I guess theoretically the Purple Gem could be the Reality Gem, and you use it to destroy a planet, which I assume would be the better way to do it, to tone it down, because in the comics the Power Gem could easily destroy a planet. I mean, there's not a real issue there. But I don't know what the hell the Ether would be then.
Yeah,
if it's not the Power Gem. So there technically should be 2 more gems left, but whether or not we get them, I'd be kind of surprised if we get the Soul Gem.
Yeah, they definitely have to do a better job of explaining what they are. Is it like you said? It is still rather confusing.
Because I mean, what we have now, or what we have left, are the Time Gem and the Soul Gem. And the Time Gem could kind of come in at any point. I kind of get a feeling we might see it in Doctor Strange. That's my kind of guess. But then again, how do you introduce the Soul Gem?
Yeah, I think either one of those could turn up in Doctor Strange, I think.
I'm trying to think what we got. We have Black... Alright, so I think everything comes before Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Except for Inhumans.
Right.
Or was Captain Marvel after Avengers 3 and 4? I want to say it's like after. So,
I can't remember.
I assume we're going to get one in Black Panther. I'm just going to make the assumption we're getting one of the gems. And one in
another character we forgot to mention. Claw.
Yeah, I mean, there's a cool little cameo. Didn't really do a whole lot. He lost his arm, so it's obviously going to set up for a Sonic Blaster. It's Andy Serkis, so there's a good chance we're probably going to get a mocapped, like the energy version of him, as opposed to like just dude with arm thing.
Yeah.
So that could be really cool. Like, I'd be really interested to see if they'll actually do the red and purple
jumpsuit robot man looking thing.
Yeah, well, he's like a being of energy, like red energy inside of a purple suit, and he's just kind of weird looking. I'd be surprised if they do that. But back to Ultron, so we kind of skipped over it. The first costume he had, I kind of like more than the super buffed up vibranium one. He just kind of looked goofy.
Yeah, he looked. That's like Iron Man said. He looked a little too puffy.
Yeah. Like,
he looked like Super Boo if he was covered in metal.
Yeah. I don't understand why they didn't keep the open jaw on the sides. Like, they kind of put in... I don't know if they're supposed to be speakers, and that's how he's talking.
Yeah, he's just moving his mouth. That's just because...
Yeah, like those two circle things, like, on his cheeks. Like, I don't know if those are supposed to be speakers. They kind of look like they might have been.
Yeah, that's what I always kind of... They look like subwoofers or something. But it was a weird design. Like, I didn't hate it, but at the same time...
I didn't like the teeth.
Yeah.
Like, why would Ultron design teeth for himself? Like, he's not eating anything.
Yeah.
Weaponry-wise, it was pretty cool. He had, like, a gravity thing. Where he could, like, pull up the earth with gravity, and then he could also shoot beams out of his hand, which apparently couldn't even kill a normal human woman. So, yeah, he was really toned down for the movie. But you know who wasn't toned down? Motherfucking Thor. That dude destroyed an entire city. That was pretty beastly. I gotta say that. I don't know how Tony Stark survived that.
Yeah.
And he was on the opposite side of the city.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Definitely made me jump. The design for the twins, we didn't really talk about the twins.
Alright, their first kind of costumes...
It's like their street clothes, you know.
I liked Wanda quite a bit more than Pietro.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too broken up about the...
Yeah, I kind of feel like we should talk about that. You know, we talked about how...
Joss.
How they want to... We assumed they were going to kill somebody.
Yeah, I was betting on Rhodey, but I like the way they ended up using him in the end.
Yeah, he made a very good self-sacrifice, you know, like it wasn't...
Pietro not.
Yeah. Quicksilver was the one that died.
Yeah, so that was a little...
Went to go save...
I mean, technically, I guess you didn't see him die, like, because Hawkeye was still laying next to him at the end. So, I mean, he could be alright, I guess, if they wanted to go somewhere with it.
Yeah.
It definitely appeared to me like he's dead. I'm going to make a giant, bold prediction, and I want to make sure that I made a lot of space around this, so when we go... 3 years in the future, we can find this part of the video. I'm going to call that when they build the Infinity Gauntlet, that's how they're going to use it to bring back Pietro. Maybe somebody else Thanos kills, but I'm guessing Pietro's going to come back. Either that, or we're going to get like a House of M, Wanda loses her mind and Pietro comes back kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm making the bold prediction he'll be back in the MCU.
Yeah. He was a cool character.
Yeah, because I heard originally, because I was reading reviews and stuff before I got a chance to see it and just trying to avoid spoilers as they came, where a lot of people were like, I don't think he's as cool as Days of Future Past Quicksilver. I really liked him.
Oh, yeah, I liked him just
more.
Yeah, I liked him just as much, if not more. I really enjoyed Wanda. I really liked the way that... I liked her end costume a lot, you know.
Yeah.
I did like how they kept, the way that she keeps her fingers. That was a nice touch. I liked the way that they animated her powers.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of... didn't really talk about her powers, like what they could do. They just called her weird, which was kind of nice because it is really, really hard to explain what she can do.
Yeah,
I'll give it to you guys real basically. Abilities of things happening. And on top of that, she could also use a little bit of magic. She could also warp reality when she's sufficiently desiring it. So she's a really powerful mage, effectively. Like, that's her mutant power, which has always been kind of weird. But that's effectively what she could do. The telepathy and stuff, I'm cool with. That kind of works for me. Like, she could always do weird stuff, so. The change in backstory from being Magneto's kids, or not Magneto's kids now in the comics, I kind of like their new backstory. It gave him a reason to fight Tony Stark, because that was kind of my one big concern.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, like what's their motivation for teaming up with Ultron? That was, and I really liked it. Like, it seemed like a reasonable, relatable thing, and to see and to them turn back on Ultron to fight with the Avengers was really great. I really like, because you could see that emotion. Like, realizing that Tony wasn't the enemy, you know, that he really... I just really liked it. Like, they did a really good job. Just the writing for this movie was really good. I just kind of wish they fixed Ultron a little bit, which is weird to say.
I just wish he wasn't so goofy.
Yeah.
That was my only issue.
Yeah, I didn't hate Ultron.
Yeah, I don't want to, like, come down super hard. Yeah. Like, he didn't ruin the movie, but there's...
It would have been, like, almost a perfect 10. Like, if Ultron... Like,
just had so many weird scenes, like...
Yeah. Like, maybe if he started out being kind of goofy, and as he kind of, like, decided, like, okay, in order to make peace, I'm going to destroy the world, and he kept, as he evolved, he got darker and more scary. Which he kind of did, but he's still cracked wise too much.
I didn't like Jarvis somehow being able to out-hack Ultron. That was pretty...
Yeah, that came out kind of weird.
Like, that's just not in... Like, if anybody knows what happened the last time Tony Stark and Ultron went head-to-head against each other, Ultron literally turned Tony into a bitch. Naked Jan Extremis. Literally turned him into a bitch. And then he beat up the rest of the Mighty Avengers with Tony's Extremis body in the form of a naked Jan. The Wasp, in case you guys are wondering. So, yeah, it's not a fight between them. I mean, granted, you gotta take liberties in the movie, but it's just kind of like, huh. Alright, Vision. I really liked 99% of them. I don't know why the Mind Gem can shoot laser beams.
that kind of confused me a little bit, too.
I like that they gave the explanation of why he could lift up Mjolnir.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He had like a little joke. Well, if it was on an elevator, the elevator's not worthy. That was a pretty good little joke. Yeah. So that was cool. I really like the look of his cape, where it's like almost like a solar sail.
Yeah.
So I guess they're going to go with he's solar powered, which is a really cool thing to do.
I kind of like how like when he came out, you know, like, and he kind of looked at Thor, and got the. I really like that. I like how like he drew inspiration for that, and I don't know, like I was like waiting for, like, because we knew going in Jarvis was obviously going to be the Vision.
Yeah, Paul Bettany.
So, you know, I'm like, well, where's he going to come in? And then, they're talking about the Thing, and because I was too busy enthralled in the movie, and then like it just hit me. I'm like, oh my god, that's gonna be Vision.
Yeah, I don't want to throw out my like super nerdy awesome card, but I kind of saw it coming. The only part that was kind of weird is like his skin is made out of vibranium. That's not a thing. Like, he's supposed to be made out of plastic. Granted, there was a stupid explanation in the 80s and it's equally dumb now, but like that's what he's supposed to be made out of. The vibranium thing is kind of cool, but it's like, cool, isn't he effectively like unable to be killed? I guess Thor killed Ultron Prime. Well, I guess Wanda ripped out his heart somehow. Yeah. She punched straight through vibranium. I wonder if we're ever going to get adamantium. Like, it seems really weird that, like, oh, Fox gets it. Why?
Yeah. It's so weird.
Ultron had adamantium before Wolverine had claws. Just going to point that out. People that didn't know that. So, yeah, it was kind of weird. I'm kind of cool with it though. Like it gives them a different kind of feel. I've thought for a while, like, why didn't they ever make a vibranium Ultron? Because we've had primary adamantium Ultron, we've had like vibranium, we've had space metal, we've had synthetic metals, kind of like what Colossus is made out of.
Yeah.
Made out of the extremis, like I said earlier. It was weird, but I liked it. I was talking to Tommy yesterday, and he was like, he kind of looks like Galvatron.
Yeah.
You can definitely kind of see it. I really like the fact they made him like 8 feet tall.
Yeah. I gotta say, they totally ripped off the whole going to the country the country safe house. They totally ripped that off in Ninja Turtles. Anyway, Hulkbuster versus the Hulk.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
I gotta say,
I don't understand why it's called Code Veronica. Like, unless that's a Resident Evil thing. Like, it just seemed really weird. Like, I don't know if there's something I'm not thinking of.
yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
But I gotta say, dude, I really enjoyed that fight. I really liked how they did the Hulk, like how he fought him, just like because we've seen the Hulk fight in these movies, and that's when he's in control.
Yeah.
A lot of people, because the kids these days, they see the Hulk on the cartoons, and that's when he's always in control. Mm-hmm. They don't know as well as we do about like the way the Hulk used to be.
The only thing I kind of wish is we would have seen him actually getting stronger the angrier he got. Because that's like the one thing they haven't really shown in any of the movies is him actually Hulk up.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of want to see him glow green. Because I can't imagine him getting any more angry than whatever was shown to him that made him that angry.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe they're saving it for Thanos. Like, he's going to get his ass kicked by Thanos at first. And then he'll Hulk up to World War level, World Breaker level, something. And just, like, I'm going to put a hurting on him. Because I'm assuming we're probably going to see either or both, like a very amped up Hulk and probably King Thor.
Yeah.
In Avengers Infinity Gauntlet War, whatever the hell they're calling it. The Infinity Gauntlet storyline movie. So I think it's called Infinity War, but Infinity War has nothing to do with the storyline they're doing.
Right.
I don't know why they didn't call it Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity Crusade. Those are two comics that actually had stuff to do with the Infinity Gauntlet. But whatever, I digress. Because nobody wants to see the goddess, I assume. Little Easter eggs I saw. Helen Cho. I'm not sure if she's in the comics. It's possible, but as soon as I heard her last name was Cho, the first thought in my head was Amadeus.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get to see him doing some stuff with Hulk, which could be a pretty fun movie, because that's always the biggest issue with a Hulk movie is who does he play off of if he's a solo movie.
Right.
Granted, they kind of moved towards it, like they could do Widow in Hulk, the movie, like even just to appease people that have been crying about it for a while, you could do a Black Widow movie with the Hulk as a back character, and that kind of gives you something to do, because that's always been my issue. Is like, you could do it, but what are you going to do it about?
Just call it Secret Avengers or something.
Yeah,
just to keep that movie.
The only way I could see you doing a Black Widow movie is if she's going to capture the Winter Soldier. Like, I always thought the best way to do it would be like
that way you
the romantic comedy aspect, and bring in Winter Soldier, and he's trying to figure out who he is, but at the same time he's still wanted by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
So she's trying to help him hide until she can figure out what to do.
That way you can even throw in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're best friends, and he wouldn't want to see her get hurt or anything. So
and the Winter Soldier's pretty much known as like the world's greatest assassin / ass kicking machine.
Yeah.
And I assume we'll see him in Infinity War. So, I mean, they're definitely setting up so we're going to see a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
What do you make of the Hulk leaving at the end? I mean, obviously they're not doing a Hulk movie before the next Avengers movie, so do you think that's going to be a subplot in part 1 at least?
It could be. I can imagine them definitely looking for the Hulk.
Because from the rumor I heard, the Guardians of the Galaxy aren't going to be in part 1.
Right.
They're only going to be in one part of the movie. Like, that could have changed. That was a rumor I heard quite a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, anything can change at this point.
But I'm going to make a claim. I'm going to assume we're going to see the Defenders, the Netflix Defenders, in the Avengers movie. Because they already said Charlie Cox has it in his contract And I'm sure whoever's going to be playing Luke Cage, Danny Rand, and Jessica Jones will probably have it in their contracts where they have to appear in one movie.
Right.
And supposedly, the Avengers Part 3 and 4 are shooting back-to-back, and it's going to be a 9-month shoot.
Right, right.
So you have plenty of time to get people in, shoot their little thing. They already put up Daredevil. It's going to get a second season.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, I mean, obviously Charlie Cox likes doing it, so...
That's good. That's always a good thing, you know, because that's how you get the best performances out of people. Because when they enjoy the project they're on, so that's good. I'm glad
let's
to hear
move
that.
towards the future, but just real quick. Out of 10, where do you put it?
I gotta give it like an 8.5 to 9. Like,
I'm giving it a 9.5. The only issues I had were just kind of like, I wish Ultron was more badass, but
Yeah.
they definitely made him a badass. I mean, he was beating the hell out of Thor.
I'm definitely gonna give it a solid 9.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, it was so enjoyable. Like I said, we both enjoyed it more than the first one, if by a little bit. The comedy was great. Action scenes were good. It was a great movie all around.
Alright, so moving forward, we see at the end of the movie, we have the new Avengers training ground, and we see the new Avengers, which are going to be Cap, Widow, and then Vision, War Machine, Falcon, and Wanda. And I'm going to make the bold prediction that we're probably going to get Spider-Man and Black Panther in there too.
Yeah.
It just kind of seems like what we're going to get. That's a whole nother step. How bummed were you that the the scene after the credits wasn't something Spider-Man related?
Yeah.
I mean, I could have done with anything. Like, you didn't even have to have the Spider-Man in it. Like, I think the big one that was thrown around and should have been was to bring in JK as JJ.
Yeah.
And just cut a little scene, and you get to see, like...
They're menaces!
And you just see, like, his hand on the newspaper over the picture, so you don't have to cast, you don't have to show the new costume, it just says Spider-Man, who is he, or something.
Yeah.
They're caught in the web of Spider-Man, and he's just like, find out! And then he just has, Parker! And then you just end it, go to credits. Like, that...
Yeah. That would have been so cool.
But, I mean, if they weren't ready at shooting, they weren't ready. So I'm not going to hold that against them, but I got to say it bummed me out a bit.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, what's the next movie? Ant-Man's coming out?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get one at the end of Ant-Man, or whatever movie comes out after that.
Yeah, I think it's Strange, and then Cap. Are they in the same year, I want to say?
Yeah, I want to say they are.
Next year. So we got that. You haven't seen Daredevil yet, so I can't bring up Daredevil. I'll get you guys a review probably tonight, and then it'll come out sometime after this review, or maybe even before. We'll see. So moving forward, here's our team versus Thanos, theoretically. And spoilers for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Not really for Daredevil, because only Daredevil is really the only character I could see. But
unless Elektra pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah, she might be in season 2.
And if she ever becomes a good guy.
Alright, so we're probably going to see King Thor, probably. Some variant of the Hulk, Widow, Hawkeye. I wonder, I'm trying to think like what the best Iron Man, like he could show up in, like maybe Bleeding Edge. He could turn into Superior Iron Man. That could be a thing during Civil War.
That could be a thing.
So, I mean, whatever it is you're probably going to get like a brand new, souped up Iron Man to fight Thanos. Did I already say Cap? Alright, you're going to get your basic ass Avengers.
Pretty much everybody that was in this movie.
Yeah, everybody in this movie, minus Quicksilver. Then you're going to get your 4 Defenders. Then you're probably going to get at least Quake from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Daisy Johnson, Skye, whatever the hell you want to call her. You might get some more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in there. Then you're going to get your Falcon, your Black Panther, your Spider-Mans, your Vision, your... I mean, you're going to have quite a bit of people to mess with. You have your Guardians coming in. Doctor Strange will be there. I mean, they're really setting up a pretty big fight. I mean, they're going to have to step it up with Thanos because Ultron definitely raised the stakes from Loki, where Loki was like, oh, I've got an army. Ultron was like, I've got a meteorite to kill all humanity. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that could still happen. I'd be curious to see how this ties into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'd be really curious to see if it's going to have an effect on any of the Netflix shows. Like,
Right.
Jessica Jones is the next one up, and I think it's Luke Cage and Iron Fist. And I'm just kind of like, I think Jessica Jones and Luke Cage will probably still be in New York. Iron Fist is going to be the one that could change stuff up.
Right.
Technically, anything could happen to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Excuse me. Over at ABC, they're working on a spin-off to a new series, so we could see more people. I mean, it could be anybody, I guess. Personally, I'd really like to see a Monsters-style one with, like, Blade, Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I think just those two as, like, a team could be a really cool movie. I know a lot of people want to see Moon Knight, but I'm still of the opinion it's like, he's a cool character, but what do you really do with him? Like, do you tell, like, kind of, like, wacky Egyptian backstory? Do you tell, like, the more, like, current one where he's just kind of like a nutcase? I think it would look really cool, but it's just like, what story do you tell kind of issue I run into.
For those of you who don't know who Moon Knight is, he's basically crazy white.
Batman.
Yeah, crazier, even more, I don't want to say badass, but more...
It's effectively like if Hush had won and beaten Batman.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
He wears, but like a white. Personally, I'd rather see him wearing his white tuxedo from the new run, where he just has like the same kind of mask he wore forever as Moon Knight,
Yeah.
and it's an all white tuxedo, white gloves, and everything. I just always thought like that was a really cool costume change, and get away from like the giant Spawn style cape.
Yeah.
Just because like we've got enough capes, and they don't really work too well in the movies. Like, obviously, you have to have one on Vision and Thor. Like, that's just kind of part of their character. But for most of the movie, Thor's not walking around in a cape.
It's funny you mention that because I saw the Vision without his cape, and I'm like, he does look kind of weird, and then he put his cape on. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Beautiful. It's a beautiful
characters
thing.
need to have it. I really wish
Absolutely.
that Ultron had a cape, Ultron Prime, at least just for a little bit. It could have been, like, destroyed off.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you play as M. Bison in Street Fighter, and he doesn't have the cape, and he looks kind of weird. Because whenever he's drawn, he always has the cape.
But, any other things you want to talk about in this movie?
I'm trying to think.
Because I think we've pretty much wrapped it up.
Yeah.
We're both looking forward to the future. There's really no tie-ins to Ant-Man except for possibly Hank Pym being the one who wrote the source code for Ultron. Like, they left that open, I assume,
Yeah.
purposely, because there was, admittedly minor, but still a little anger from the fans when they were like, it's just going to be Tony Stark built it, no one will care. And it's like, people kind of care. These are stories people grew up on. It's like, you can't just change things.
It's cool. I mean, if they did it like that and they didn't mention it just so they can plop it into Ant-Man to make the connection, that'll be cool. I will appreciate that. I know other people will appreciate it.
Oh, why was the AI called Friday? If anybody knows, throw it in the comments.
Yeah.
I don't know if it stands for something. I don't know if it's
I
from something. Because I know, like, eventually Tony had Jarvis, the AI, for a while. Then he switched out to Pepper. So I don't know if he has a new one called Friday now. And I don't... I didn't get that one.
Yeah, maybe it's something they made up for something we didn't catch right away. But yeah, leave it in the comments if you guys know why.
But other than that, I think we're just about wrapped up. I can't really think of too much left to talk about. I mean,
Yeah.
you definitely pumped me up more to see a Hawkeye solo film or even a team up. I would almost be alright to see a prequel, like a Widow Hawkeye prequel movie.
That would be pretty cool.
And then you could obviously put in some of the people from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., just gotta give them backstory. Like, I would put in
Coulson? Not Coulson?
Melinda, maybe?
Melinda, yeah.
Yeah, I think she would probably be their strongest person to put in there. I would almost go into, like, the Black Widow program, unless you're going to do it as it was a Russian program that S.H.I.E.L.D. raided to get her. It wasn't a S.H.I.E.L.D. program. Because, like, there's still quite a few characters you guys could introduce to your S.H.I.E.L.D. roster to kind of help, make it just that much more. You still have the other Black Widows you can go into.
That's true.
We never really got to see much of AIM in Iron Man 3, so...
Yeah. And I want to see a MODOK, but at the same time...
I think that would be amazing.
It'd be like in the screen to Super Mario 64 where you can stretch out the things, but it's Peter Dinklage.
I think you'd do an amazing job as MODOK.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, because MODOK's just a weird character, but we'll get into that kind of shit some other time.
Yeah, alright, so our next couple of videos we're going to be doing, I'll give you guys the Daredevil review from my point of view. At some point later, Chudge can give it from his whenever he gets a chance to finish up the series. And then after that, or maybe even at the end of that video, I'll call Chudge in, and then I know our next video is going to be Spider-Man reboot, who we want to see in it, what we don't need to see, stuff like that. I'm Dave, he's Chudge. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please leave comments, guys. I want to know what you want to know. And out. Bye.
Excelsior.